We can go right away.
Coach, when you were in that last play at NC State, 8.1 seconds left, I watched it over and over, and it looks like True was the primary option from the get-go because the ball, Shell gets it into Malik, the
Yeah.
way Trey moved to receive the pass,
Yeah.
and it looked like it was he turned that defender in and went right there.
Well,
Was that the
yeah.
primary option?
No, it wasn't. But I told the players it's a little bit on me if it wasn't enough clarity of what was supposed to happen. But it was a two-man game between Trey and Malik. And then Trey got downhill and he's made a play that we have struggled to make all year. The ball side read, and he made it. And when you do the right thing, sometimes you just end up with some luck and the right things happen. And he kicked it to True, and then that's all we're trying to do is just find the best shot in that moment. But it's supposed to be a two-man game between Malik and Trey right there on the wing slot area. But we did a roller coaster to get there, but we got there.
Malik was triple.
Yeah, he was. He was. And we expected it. We tried to flatten the court and get it to him around the elbow to give him some operating space. But everybody went with him. He did a great job of going to get it. And then Trey made a good job of just making the right read.
Jay, coaches always say, rankings don't matter, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. Your team maybe, we don't know yet, but what you've done so far, and especially last week, you may be ranked. Does it mean anything to get into the top 25 at this time of year?
Not really. I mean, not really. It's like a tip of the cap, but for us, we have to still just keep chipping away. We got a lot of games and a lot of basketball left ahead of us. We have to continue, and I feel like this is what we've done the best, and why we're able to win some of these games and be where we are is we got to continue to fight for our identity. And I think that showed on Saturday, and it's got to show the rest of the games. I think the separator for us this past week, is that we had 8 turnovers against Carolina and 9 turnovers against NC State. We do that, we can be in every game and win every game.
And ask about free throw shooting. I know you always say it doesn't matter, not that it doesn't matter the percentage, but if you get a whole lot more times at the free throw line than the opponent,
Yep.
that's really what you're looking for.
Yep.
But obviously, if the percentage was higher, then you're not in that position that Drew was in.
Absolutely.
So what?
I mean, we practice it. We'll keep practicing. We'll keep shooting them. If we could have everything, we would. That's why for me and for us this year, it's more so about quantity. So if we can get 32, 34, now if it's a day we make 26, we're going to be really good. But if we can get 32, 34 and make 19, 20, then that's what we have to do. That's just the way we're built this year. That's the way our team is built. We're built with size, physicality. When you do it that way, you lose some stuff. And it doesn't mean you can't be good. You go in the game and you shoot 50% from the free throw line and only make 3 threes and still win the game. So it shows you that there is other ways to be good. You just have to buy into doing it.
Coach, more on True. Everybody understands how good he is defensively.
Yep.
His rebounding in his game
Huge.
is very important,
Yep.
especially in those last few seconds. Offensively, rebounding-wise, how important is he going to be moving forward?
He's huge. We're our best version of ourselves with everybody. And true for me, and it has been true the whole year. Pun on words. But he's our X factor. He's the guy that can come in and get 3 steals that turn into something. Come in, he hit 2 of the 3 threes. Like you said, for him to have been away from the team and not played to come in and make 3 free throws to win the game. He has that confidence, but he also has that pedigree. He's won 2 conference championships in the Mountain West. So he's been in moments like that matter. He's been around winning. All that stuff shows up in those moments. And for us, he's kind of our X factor for our team. So going down the year, this role with him coming off the bench, he gives us a punch. He puts people in their natural positions with him coming off the bench and being able to score and get after a little bit more. So I'm excited.
What are you expecting from Virginia Tech? I mean, they just lost to Florida State.
Yep.
But we know that Florida State is capable of
Yeah.
teams. What are you expecting from them?
Florida State's playing a lot better. Coach Laux has done a great job just adjusting their style of play. Second part, Virginia Tech's really good. They're a tournament team. They lost 3 games on buzzer beaters. Stanford, SMU, one other team. So they should be a 9-10 win team in the conference. They have a really good coach who's won everywhere he's been. Coach Young. So they are really good. I know their record, they're like 7-6 or 7-6 6-7. But I mean, they're 8 wins, 2 points or less. Their losses. So they're a good team. They're a tournament team. That's why they're right there. I expect them to be desperate. They've won big games. They just won at Clemson before the Florida State game. They have great size. They have great players. It's going to be another ACC war.
Coach, you talked about the atmosphere at NC State before the game. Now that you've had a few days to kind of digest it, what do
Yep.
you think coming out alive in an atmosphere like that does for the team moving forward?
I mean, it's a testament to them that they've put us in positions where people want to come see us, and we are a big game. You know what I mean? The place was rocking. That's what you want to be. That's why you play college basketball, to be in those environments. Like I said before, I saw it firsthand being at Duke. You kind of get everybody's best crowd, but get that crowd at 4 o'clock on a Saturday, with it being a holiday, was just huge. And we have confidence. We've won on the road. I think we're 5-1 in true road games. So it's something we're comfortable with doing, and something the guys like.
Speaking of atmosphere, you had a great atmosphere for the North Carolina game.
Yep.
What, do you think that the same number will come out with the same energy? Are the students gonna come back tomorrow, and how important is that?
I hope so. I hope so. I know North Carolina brings a different level of, just, I guess, eyes towards basketball, but we're going to need them tomorrow, because it's just as tough a game. It's just a tougher game. It's a different matchup, a different style than the North Carolina game. So it's a little bit of a harder game for us. But we need them. We need them down the stretch. We're going to need them this one. We're going to need them Boston College. We're going to need them Louisville. So for us to close out this year, we need everybody here.
Rebounding, specifically offensive boards, feels a big part of the team's identity. Is that something when you came in you kind of wanted to establish? And
Yeah.
I guess what's the mentality of having everybody be hungry for that?
It's who we have to be good. With the makeup of the team, and like you said, is one of the first things we talked about, and one of the first things we said we wanted to do. And to be honest, with some of the stuff, like, we're not a bad shooting team. I don't want to put that in the atmosphere. We just don't shoot a lot of threes, and we don't have to. So the offensive rebound, the free throws we talked about earlier, like, that has to make up for it, and for our guys to buy into it, and to go after and do it every game. Speaks to just them believing in who we are and what we're about. So it's huge.
Can you talk about Malik? I mean, it's almost like, oh yeah, Malik, 20 plus points.
Yeah.
It's just like ho-hum every day
Yeah.
now. Can you talk about his consistency?
Yeah, he's one of those guys I have to catch myself, because I'll watching the game and stuff, and I'll be ready to scream at him for something. And I look up, he's got 16 and 6 with 2 minutes to go in the half, and I'm like, all right, well, can't say much to him. But
It's almost quietly.
yeah, it is, and he's worked hard since he's gotten here. You can kind of see there's like a weight that's been lifted on him from being here and just being comfortable. And I think I'm a good match for him, because I kind of feel I have a good way to talk to him, but also hold him accountable and hold him to the standard. And he's done a great job of just delivering day after day.
How good can he be?
Oh, I mean, he's one of the most talented offensive people I've ever been around. Some of the stuff he does is just natural, and for his size and just his ability to play inside, play outside, play in the pocket, post, play out of ball screens. His versatility I mean, it's not many like him.
You'll talk earlier about the top 25 and maybe being on the cusp, but it doesn't matter. With the football team, right, they had this whole rat poison thing where
Yep.
you can't think ahead, you can't think about anything except for the next game. Have you addressed that with your team? Is that a concern for you? With now you guys maybe getting some national relevance finally, well deserved? But
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think we have done a good job of just kind of building it within, and we've had things happen that you can kind of show it comes with winning. Like Trey being ACC Player of the Week, like that came with winning. There are things that we want that come with winning, because we want to win. And we just have to understand why it's there and why it's happening. Like, it's not happening because you got 20 points and no. It's happening because we did this, and we've put ourselves in this position, and we have to keep it about us. And that's the most important thing, is just making sure that this all comes back to us and comes back to that the foundation of all this is because we're winning.
Coach, you're at this 20-win mark now, positioning yourself well for the ACC tournament. I know you're not looking that far ahead right now. What does it mean for you coming in your first year and you're already at this
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest with you. Did I say I expected to win 20? Yes, I did. And that's why you come to this place, because it gives you the opportunity to win and compete for championships. Now, does that, just because I say that, does that mean it's going to happen? Absolutely not. So I am grateful and thankful to everybody who's been involved to get us to this point. But like you said, we want more. We want more. We want to be as good as we can be and see what comes with that. And of course, like just coming down the stretch, you put yourself in position where you're in position for some crazy could happen at the top of the league, and it's a losing streak away from being right there. So we just got to continue to keep chipping away, and then when everything's said and done, just see where you are.
So you really thought when you started this season, you put these guys together, you thought this is a 20-win tournament team?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was more, to be honest. I feel like, we have grown and we've had to go through some stuff in the season that has put us here, but I felt like we should either be here or be a little bit ahead at this point, with what we have and my expectations and standard of them and what we can build. So, we're right where we need to be right now. And everything that we've gone through has prepared us for this close. Now we just have to continue to close and just take it one day at a time.
With Timo, Noam, and Sally before the year, you said getting them kind of caught up to speed with the tempo of the game and everything would be their biggest adjustment. How do you feel like they have adjusted to that 25 years?
They've adjusted well, and this the time of the year where your rotations start to shrink. And so those guys aren't playing extended minutes, but in their minutes and in their roles, they've been really good. Timo comes in. Timo's best position is a wing. But with Marcus's injury, we've had to play him more as a 4. Timo is a bigger guy who can play out of actions, play in ball screens, and make reads and stretch the court with his shooting. But everybody's kind of had to adjust with Marcus being out, then Dante's injury, and then True being out for a little bit. So it's been kind of moving pieces around to make them fit. So Solly's done a great job. He comes in and adds just physicality to the game. Timo adds the shooting. Him and Noam both add the shooting just to stretch the court. So although they're not getting great extended minutes, in their minutes and in their role, they're doing a really good job.
Coach, they're basically man-to-man, Mike Young
Yep.
team. They switched to the 2-2-1.
Yep.
Expect a little reversal of that against us, but we're not shooting the 3 that well?
No, I haven't, because we're really good against zone. You know what I mean? If you look at our numbers against zone, we're really good. And so a lot of teams go to zone thinking like it's going to slow us down and stuff. We've had a few games where it did slow us down, but we attack it well. Even like North Carolina State threw a zone out, the one possession, and we got a 3 out of it. I expect Coach Young, he's an old school coach, which is why he's one of the best. He's going to do what he does. And get my team to execute what we're about, and we'll do that. The only thing I think that they've shown that I expect is maybe a double on Malik. But I expect him to come in here and execute at a high level like he always does, and guard the way that they always do. I think that's who he is.
Thanks, guys.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.